the ranks of teachers and will start their jobs this year. The hired teachers passed the exams and were in the waiting list in the previous years in coordination with the Ministry of Civil Services. The Ministry of Education recruited 180 male teachers and 1,007 female teachers. However, the ministry could not recruit some of the graduates who passed the exams due to the lack of vacancies for some of the specialities. The Higher Education Admission Center notified all students that they should be committed in adhering the interviews appointment dates for written and medical examinations. According to the Oman newspaper, the center stressed that the failure to meet the deadline, the students will lose the opportunity to compete in the candidate program. The center also pointed out that calling the students to take an exam or interview in the program does not mean that they are accepted to the program, explaining that the acceptance depends on the set of criteria, the results of the interview, of the test, and the number of seats available, as well as their success rates compared to other candidates. Artificial Intelligence Conference was held as part of Salalah Festival program this year under the auspices of His Excellency Engineer Mohammed bin Abu Bakr Al-Ghassani, the Deputy Chairman of the Shura Council and the representative of Wilaya of Salalah. The came under the theme of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, discussed and highlighted the concept of artificial intelligence, the integration perspective and the future applications. The conference also addressed a number of relevant subjects like utilizing artificial intelligence in the educational and learning process and implications of the Fourth Industrial Revolution on the community economy and the job market. The conference is aimed at promoting awareness on the subject matter and offering an opportunity for stakeholders to discuss and exchange their expertise and opinions in these areas. To cover news bulletin. The severe heat this summer in Japan already claimed more than 100 heat-related deaths.
عبق فاح بين جنباتها، فنفثت سلاما برائحة لبانها. حلقت عاليا نحو السماء، فنقشت بأبجدياتها تاريخا جميلا، وبكرمها أمست مضربا للأمثال. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2018 من 10 من يوليو إلى 25 من أغسطس.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif attended the signing ceremony in Singapore today, along with the foreign ministers of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. Iran is the latest nation that acceded to ASEAN's Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia, a decade-old agreement signed in 1976 that advocates the peaceful resolution of disputes. The ASEAN foreign ministers are having their annual meetings in Singapore this week. Russia's defense ministry announced that the UN peacekeepers returned today to patrol the frontier between Syria and the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights for the first time in years. Moscow's latest achievements in efforts to negotiate a solution to crisis along the volatile border. Colonel General Sergei Rudskoy of the Russian General Staff told reporters at a news conference in Moscow that the UN peacekeepers, aided by Russian forces, conducted their first patrolling missions in the area earlier in the day. The development also marked for the first time that Russian forces, a major ally of Damascus government, get involved in the patrols. California Fire Department CAL FIRE said today 2 fires have burned more than 362 square kilometers in Northern California. The fires in Medinosia and Lake counties have burned 14 homes and threatened 12,000 more. A Lake County sheriff said there had been arrests of trespassing in the evacuated town of Lake Port. California is dealing with a brutal wildfire season. More than 13,000 firefighters are battling fires with the help of crews from as far away as Florida. Tens of thousands are under evacuation orders. Officials say the state already spent more than $1/4 of its annual budget, at least $125 million US. California is just 1 month into its firefighting budget year. Temperatures have reached peak levels throughout Japan this week as the heat wave continues. Last month, North Tokyo hit 41.1 degrees Celsius, while residents in Gifu and central Japan were subjected to temperatures up to 40.2 degrees Celsius yesterday afternoon. The severe heat this summer in Japan has already claimed over 100 heat-related deaths and forcing many to rush to the hospitals with heat stroke symptoms. Many of the victims in Japan were elderly people who were not using air conditioning. Authorities and news media urged people to stay inside and turn on air conditioners. Big consultant for some more local news, Khasab Club in the Governorate of Musandam organized a training workshop entitled Charisma and Face the Public, which lasts for 3 days. The workshop included how to manage dialogue and get rid of anxiety and the ability to resolve situations and problems. It also included the method of dealing with the topics and solving them in a meaningful educational way. The event targets all age groups from the government and private institutions in the wilaya of Khasab. More than 430,000 tourists visited Dhofar by the end of the 5th week of the end of July, with an increase by more than 56% compared to the same period of last year. According to statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information, around 70% of the tourists who visited Kharif came from the land border posts. Tourists from the Gulf, including Omanis, represented 92% of the total number of tourists. The number of tourists from other Arabian countries reached more than 8,000, while tourists from Europe reached more than 1,300. Now for the general focus around the Sultan, cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains with chances of intermittent drizzle. The rest of the Sultan will have clear skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains, low clouds and fog late at night and early morning, and expected over the coasts of the Arabian Sea and the Sea of Oman. Winds will be southeast light to moderate and seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.45 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. More than 1,100 male and female teachers are recruited for the next scholastic year in the Sultan. And the Artificial Intelligence Conference discusses in Salalah the concept of artificial intelligence, the integration perspective, and the future applications. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom and the studios. Have a good weekend. Good night.